Hello and welcome back to English class. It is Wednesday, and this is a video where I'm just going to read out loud the story. Today's assignment, you don't have to watch this video if you'd rather just read the story to yourself. But if you'd like to listen to me read aloud, then play this video and make sure you're following along with the story as I read out loud so that you can get the best understanding of the story and do the best on the assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the quick recap. And then I'm going to read each page of the story, and I'll let you know when you need to pause and answer some questions. Starting with the quick recap. The low cuts, this is just a reminder of what you read in this story yesterday, because we're continuing the same story that we started yesterday, Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds. The low cuts are a group of friends brought together by the fact that all of their families are struggling financially due to cancer. They often steal loose change from people to pay for snacks, but never steal dollar bills. So that's all we know about the low cuts so far. Let's see what they're up to today. Starting at the top of page 4. Bit fat. We'll make it work. He marched off and the others followed behind, warming through the crowd and up to the light. They crossed and headed down the main road, Portal Avenue, cars and bikes zooming past. Buses, both public and school, grumbling and screeching, smoke billowing from the tailpipes. Even though they were tight on time, they were loose on talk. Francie, in particular, was motor mouthing. She always did when she was anxious, asking John if he'd ever heard of anybody named Satchmo, because there was a kid in her Spanish class named Satchmo Jenkins, and she just liked the name. Nope, never heard of nobody else named Francie either, though, John said with a shrug. Yeah, but Francie is short for Francis, she went on. Well, maybe Satchmo is short for Satchmo Maurice. Satchmo, Satchmocha, Satchmocha latte, Satchmo money, Bit sparked, annoyed by the silly conversation Francie and John were having, but also by the silly conversation Trista was trying to have with him. But I'm serious, Trista was droning on. What are you going to write about being? Trista was referring to their English homework. Miss Broom wanted each student to write about being something else, not a person, a thing. I keep telling you, Trista, I don't know, Bit replied as the school bus rumbled by. How about a school bus? That good enough for you? Not really, Trista said. The school bus was coming to a stop, its brakes grinding. Bit covered his ears. I hate that sound. Matter of fact, I'd be a school bus that could fly. That way, I ain't got to hit the brakes and make all that noise. Bit looked over at Trista. How about that? All I'm going to say is I could totally see you, a school bus, falling from the sky. Trista laughed to herself, but just loud enough for Bit to hear. Well, at least then I'd be a rocket. After 6 blocks, they turned down Crossan Street, stopping at the first house, the one that sat on the corner. An older house with a bunch of cars parked in the yard, barrel grills and big wheels in the driveway. A mess, but the home of the munchy master, Miss Cece. Miss Cece had been the neighborhood candy lady since the Lopez parents were kids. She was known for making sure everybody got a fair shot at sweet treats because she knew not everybody could get to the corner store. There wasn't one on the corner of Crossan. Actually, there wasn't one within 5 blocks, so she had to be it. And the best part about Miss Cece was that she was open 24 hours a day. With Bit leading the way, the low cuts beelined up her obstacle course of a driveway and rang the doorbell, which chimed a melodic yawn, like an old man just waking up. The low cuts waited nervously, but Bit, full of fire and impatience, rang the door again and again. Okay, that's the end of page 4, and you have 1 question to answer. The question is, what does Miss Cece do? Does she teach English, sell candy, drive the bus, or talk too much? This one's a pretty easy one. You can pause the question if you need more time. Just select the answer that you think is best. And then I'm going to look at the next one. So the next question is, how would you describe Bit's character so far? Write a sentence or 2. You're probably going to need to pause for that one to get your answer down. So go ahead and pause the video here, answer those 2 questions, and then come back when you're ready to continue reading page 5. Okay, at this point, you should have answered your first 2 questions. I'm looking at the top of page 5. Come on, he growled. Ain't nobody got all day. Chill, Francie said. You know she moves slow. Sure enough, a few seconds later, they heard the sound of Miss Cece's slippers slowly sliding across the floor, and her voice oozing through the wooden door. I'm coming. Don't poop your pants. just a smile at that because Miss Cece always mentioned pooping as if the only people who ever rang her bell were people in desperate need of the bathroom. The door swung open, and there she was, a small lady, jet black wig sitting on top of her head like a hat she'd purposely cocked to the side. The hair was too dark, especially compared to the few silver hairs springing from her chin. She wore a turquoise sweatsuit, the sleeves and legs cut off, threads hanging like a blue-green spiderweb. Her ankles were swollen, and so were her cheeks. If it weren't for the hair and the bumpy freckles, her face would have looked like a baby's. Her voice, on the other hand, sounded like a truck engine. Look who it is, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, and Mo, Miss Cece said, pointing at each of them. What y'all want? Well, John started, because John was usually the one who spoke for the crew. It's a nice one. He dug in his pocket, opened his hand, showing all the silver and copper. We got 90 cents, and we need candy, Miss Cece, Bit blurted. Then, clapping his hands together, he repeated, we need candy. Bit! Francie's voice was a warning to calm down, but Bit's ears didn't hear it that way. What? We do, and we in a rush. He tapped his wrist where there was no watch. Checked it like checking a pulse. A live one, for sure. Don't be rude, Krista said, calm. Like, too calm. So calm that even Miss Cece took a step back. Bit quieted down. Huffed, rolled his wrist, and muttered, Go ahead, John. We got 90 cents, and we need as much candy as you can give us, John explained. Miss Cece looked at the four of them, a stair step from John, the tallest, down to Bit. Do I want to know what y'all want to? She asked, and they just looked at her like she hadn't asked it, like she hadn't said anything. So she acted like she hadn't said anything either. Wait right here. The thing about Miss Cece's house was that kids could never go in unsupervised. Even though she knew them and their parents, she was always very careful about young people in her home buying candy, because it basically was the plot of every abduction story she'd ever watched. And she didn't want people thinking she was doing that, because she wasn't. So the Locutts had to wait at the door another few minutes until Miss Cece returned with a small card table. She set the table up just outside the house, then pulled boxes of candy from a small closet right by the front door, where most people would hang their coats. She set the boxes up on the table. Okay, today in the penny, nickel, and dime categories, we got the old stuff. Okay, so you've got one question. I'm going to read the question out loud and then recap some definitions for you. If you want to just skip straight to answering the question, you can pause the video and skip forward about 30 seconds to get to the reading of page 6. But if you'd like to hear me go over this question, feel free to keep listening. The question is, the following quote is an example of which kind of figurative language? And the quote is, her voice, on the other hand, sounded like a truck engine. Remember, that was a description of Miss Cece's voice. Is it a metaphor? Remember, a metaphor is a comparison that does not use the words like or as. Is it personification? Remember, personification is when you give human qualities to something that is not human. Is it a simile? Remember, a simile is a comparison using the words like or as. Or is it alliteration? Remember, alliteration is when you use a bunch of words that start with the same letter right in a row. Like Sally sells seashells by the seashore is an example of alliteration. Okay, go ahead and pause the video, choose the best answer, come back when you're ready to continue on to page 6. Okay, at this point, you should have answered that multiple choice question. I'm picking up at the top of page 6. You always say that when we come here. Don't nobody want no stale candy, Miss Cece, it said, biting himself to cool his tone. It's not stale, Britton. It's just older styles of candies. Like how the Michael Jordan sneakers you all be paying all that money for keep getting remade. That's what this is. Retro candy. Hard to get and used to only cost a penny a piece when I was a little girl. But I gotta charge y'all 4 cents more. Attitude tax. Bit cocked his head. Miss Cece cocked hers right back. Let that be a lesson, son. Plus, everything costs more over time. Inflation, Francie said. Sounds more like deflation, Bit grumbled under his breath, patting his pocket. What you say? Miss Cece asked, adding the last box from the lineup on the table. Nothing, John subbed in for Bit. Okay, y'all know the rundown, Miss Cece said. I got Mary Jane's, Tootsie Rolls, Squirrel Nut Zippers. Bit did his best to trap his laugh, but a sound slipped from his mouth. No matter how tough and tight he was, Squirrel Nut Zippers broke him every time. Let her finish, Francie said through her own giggles. Squirrel Nut Zippers, Miss Cece repeated, then continued with the list. Lifesavers, individually wrapped, Bit-O Honey, Charleston Chews, Bazooka Bubblegum, and she pops back into the closet, mumbling to herself, then pops back out. I think that's it in terms of bang for your buck. They leaned over the table, looking at all the candy, trying to decide which was the right candy to get. Finally, Francie spoke up. What you think, Bit? Oh, now y'all care what I think, he snapped back. Don't be petty all your life. That was from John John. We just know you know what to do with it better than us, Francie explained. You know how to use it. Exactly, Trista said, scratching her head. Miss Easy covered her ears. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Bit turned to her. I mean, you said this candy was from when you were young, right? Miss Easy pulled her hands away from her face. That's right. So which was your favorite? Miss Easy surveyed the table. It'd have to be a tie between the Mary Janes and the Lifesavers. I mean, that peanut butter mixed with syrup in the Mary Janes was like heaven. But the pure sugar of the Lifesavers was to little Cecilia a lifesaver. So we'll take as many of both of those as we can get. Miss Cece started to count them out, and a few seconds later, there were 18 pieces of candy in front of them. 9 Mary Janes, 9 Lifesavers. John John lets the coins fall into Miss Cece's hands, Bit scooping up the candy. Okay, that's the end of the reading for today. We just have one question left. It's write a 3 to 5 sentence summary of this section of the story. Make sure that your summary is 3 sentences. I do not want to see any 1 sentence or any 2-word summaries. I want at least 3 good sentences, if not more. Okay, that's the end of the video. Thank you for all of your hard work. Once you finish that last question, you will be done for the day. If you have any questions, you can reach me at 571-268-2801. My number is in the instructions on Google Classroom as always. And I hope to talk to you guys soon.